Hiya folks, it's number 22, and if you're thinking we haven't moved position since 21, it's because we haven't.
Yeah.
We're just filming this back to back. So we're kicking off with a wee beer from the St Andrews Brewing Company called Mango and Pineapple Session IPA. Interesting looking can. Very different from what I remember from St Andrews Brewing Company. Bob used to come round the farmers market in Dunfermline, and that's where I would go and buy my beer every month, get a few beers from him, have a wee chat. And Bob moved back to England, and I've never seen him since. And I don't think I've had any St Andrews beer since then. That's quite a number of years ago.
Certainly
and they
rebranded,
were all, yeah, they're all definitely rebranded because they were all in bottles before. So this surprised me when I picked this up in the local beer shop. I just saw the label, picked it up, wondering what it was, and I was surprised it was St Andrews Beer Company. So
it's
here we
more
are.
fitting with kind of craft beer now, isn't it? That
Yeah, I suppose so. The kind of trendy look. Yeah.
I'm loving the look of this.
Hipster.
Yeah, it's got a hipster. I'm loving the look of this. It's obviously the head's just completely disappeared, and we're left with this.
Yeah, it looks like
Juice.
It does.
Like orange squash.
It kind of does. Yeah. You're expecting this to be like
It smells a wee bit like
Bucks Fizz or something.
Yeah, totally. So it's mango and pineapple, isn't it? Mango and pineapple IPA.
I'm certainly getting that smell through it. Less so in the flavour. It's not a big punchy fruity flavour. It tastes like beer.
Yeah, it's 3.9, and based on what we drank, we obviously drank a couple of beers last week, but it does taste much more sessional, that kind of lighter beer. It's I'm not going to say I'm disappointed, because I'm not, because I knew I think we've got to a point in our craft beer journey that you can look at telltale signs like the alcohol content, and come to conclusions about what you would be. This is quite light, but I think I would have known that from if I bought this kit. I would have known that.
It's only about 3 or 4.
3.9, yeah. So I would have expected that lightness from this, just because if I'd read the can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've talked about this before. I would like this. It's nice. It is nice. It's nice and light.
It's just got a wee hint of the flavours of the fruit. It's not overpowering.
I would enjoy this more at a 6 and a bit.
I think so. I think it would be a wee bit punchy.
There would be a more punchier. There would be
better. Yeah. Maybe just bring out the flavour a bit or something.
But it's sessional. It's nice and light. It's something I would quite enjoy drinking if I had like 4 or 5 of them in the fridge.
Yeah.
Of course, a football game or something.
Drink a few of them. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Decent wee beer.
So we've also got a couple of comics to read this week, or to review this week, I should say. I have this masterpiece called Springtime in Chernobyl by Emmanuel Lepage. He's a French artist and comic writer, and that's my choice of the week.
And I recently got volume 3 of Plagued, the Miranda Chronicles, which I've been collecting over the last, I don't know how many years it's been. It's been a few years since the first one came out. 2015 it won an award, so hey.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long time.
4 and a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so, so I finally picked this one up, just, I don't know, a couple of months ago, I think.
Is it a couple of months old, or is it a couple of years old?
No, the number 3 is a couple of months old. That's it. It just came out recently, but obviously the first one. And BHP Comics, who are the publisher, can I just say, why the hell did you do this and have them different sizes? You make something American comic size and then you switch to British comic size for number 2. It's just annoying me a little bit. I know you've got a volume 1 that's been rebranded, but anyway,
comic collectors are quite a.
It just looks rubbish on my shelf.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Get your act together.
Okay, which one are we going to review first?
I don't know. You go for Springtime in Chernobyl.
Yeah, so Springtime in Chernobyl is a memoir of tragedy and death, people on land, and what comes after disaster. So I picked this up because I had watched the series that Sky Atlantic put out. I think it was HBO. They did the Pyramid. It was like the best reviewed show in the history of reviewing, I think, or something along those lines. It holds like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. It's like some like accolade it holds. It is great. It's also like got that total disturbing vibe that through it. That I think if anyone that watches it know it when like you got firemen picking up like graphite with their bare hands and you're like, put it down, come on. You know they don't put it down and you know they die. Spoilers. But yeah, so the show the show depicts the immediate aftermath of Chernobyl and what happens to people after this. This takes like a slightly different turn. It starts off with the antagonist, the protagonist, who is Emmanuel, remembering what he remembers about Chernobyl at the time, and that sort of arcs back to the stuff that we all kind of know. Anybody that has taken an interest in the Chernobyl disaster or remembers it from the time, it does talk a lot about remembering things. So they have like frames of the comic, panels of the comic where it is it's like newspaper art. It's like news, television reviews. There's so maybe the first 10-15 pages deal with the immediate aftermath of Chernobyl and the event itself, and then it takes a big jump till about 2008, I want to say, where 22 years later, so yeah, it's 2008, it's exactly 2008, a group of artists travel to the Chernobyl area to create pieces of art to reflect what Chernobyl is now and what's happened to the place and how people in that area have dealt with the tragedy. And it does that in quite a large degree. They meet people that have who were either involved in the nuclear power plant or had to be evacuated or had to be involved in the cleanup. You know, the liquidators, the guys that had to go and clean everything off. There is a liquidator in the comic who is interviewed at one point. And it's really, really interesting. It's really, really interesting at that point. But then it takes quite a dramatic turn when the artists head out into Chernobyl itself, and it's Pripyat, the town that's closest to Chernobyl, and the surrounding woodland, and they just kind of they're trying to document what Chernobyl looks like now, and the artist Emmanuel is massively alarmed, moved. And he goes through quite a complex series of emotions when he realises that Chernobyl now is quite a beautiful place, because after the cleanup that the liquidators had to do, there's an exclusion zone that has that I think tourists visit it now. There's that whole, was it disaster tourism or what they call it, dark tourism, and Chernobyl's like a dark tourism hotspot. But this is sort of before that time where people are still very rarely entering that area, and it's actually and the sort of conclusion Emmanuel comes to is it's beautiful because it's been untouched by development, and it's been untouched by machinery and vehicles and people in generally, and that's something that he's, I say, disturbed and moved by, and it's it makes for quite a, there's some really, really beautiful artwork. The comics in black and white, predominantly. There is tinges of colour, and I think it progressively gets more and more colourful as Emmanuel starts to, it's a creative choice I imagine, he starts to fall in love with sections. So he enters a sweet shop, and this black and white turns into kind of browns with a pink, like very light colours, and then by the end of the comic, when he starts to explore, he tries to draw the radiation and the colours at the same time, and then it just his love of the area totally takes over. By the end of it, he's just drawing beautiful landscapes and beautiful pictures of the people there as well. I thoroughly recommend it. Every so often we read, and we've reviewed these comics in the past. I reviewed Sync a couple weeks ago, which you lent to me as being like one of the best comics you've ever read. I think comics are in general are quite a fertile land of awesomeness, where you can find things and be moved quite early. Most people imagine if you're watching or listening to a podcast about comics, you've read things like Mouse, and we all kind of remember how moving that was. I think this kind of fits into that. It fits into that world quite easily of just iconic one-off comics. So what's the Persepolis? Persepolis, the Iranian one. And Mouse. This is what I'm thinking. Comics in my head are like defining genre, or just
they tackle big issues.
Yeah, and totems of just what you can do with this forum
in terms of people.
Yeah. I would. This is going to, after this review and after Colin's read it, and I promised it to a couple of my students as well. Once this makes the rounds and comes back in the mouse, it's going to sit there, and it's going to be obviously mouse, V for Vendetta, and this. I think it's iconic, and it's quite amazing. So check it out if you've not already.
Okay, well, you've been chatting there. I've been enjoying that St Andrews beer.
I was hoping you would go first for that reason.
So I'm going to get into reviewing this comic. So yeah, so it's Plagued, the Miranda Chronicles, Volume 3 out, but obviously this is the complete story. And let me just explain a little bit about what it's about. So it's set in Scotland in the future. There's been an apocalyptic plague which has been killing off people, but technology has kind of improved a bit as well. So we've got like hoverboards and wee fly scooter things like Flash Gordon, but also some people have developed powers like magic powers, and they're witches. Okay. And the witches are, everybody's scared of the witches. The witches are being blamed for causing the plague. Yeah. And there are witch hunters who go out trying to track down these sort of fugitive witches. Okay. So the protagonist is Thomas Mackey, very ordinary Scottish sounding name for a sci-fi comic book. Yeah. But Thomas is a witch hunter, and he goes out to track down witches with his talking dog Dex. Okay. Which is, to be honest, a bit of a throwaway character. It doesn't need to be there, but the books are aimed at kids.
Okay, I was going to ask who you.
So Dex, the talking dog, kind of fits okay with that kind of.
You're like a relief character.
Yeah, they're comedy character like R2D2 sort of thing. Okay. And they track down this witch called Miranda, who's obviously the book's named after, the Miranda Chronicles, and she discovers that Thomas is suffering from the plague, and she cures him with this sort of magic that she's got, and that kind of makes him turn what he's doing is wrong. That she's got this power that can save humanity. So they side up, and of course that attracts the attention of the chief witch hunter Salem. And we also find out
that a clever name for chief witch hunter.
Indeed, yeah. So we find out that the kind of country has been run by this kind of big organisation called Renico, and there's this sort of conspiracy thing going on. Things aren't quite as they seem. Yeah. As the story goes on, they get into lots of peril, lots of scrapes. Eventually, in the last episode, teaming up with another bunch of witches who are kind of quite badasses. Yeah. They've done bad things in the past, kind of terrorists, if you like. Yeah. But they team up with them to try and overthrow Renico and the authority. Yeah. So quite an interesting wee story. But like I say, it's kind of it's come out over 4 years. Yeah. It's taken a long time to come out. In fact, when just before Volume 2 was out, I was a guest at Capital Sci-Fi Con in Edinburgh, and next to me was the artist Tanya
Roberts.
So Tanya was at the next table when she was busy drawing Plague 2, and I asked her what she was up to, and she was telling me that's what she was doing, and she would occasionally pass over a bit for me to have a wee read through. Didn't have any text on it; she was just drawing the stuff. So I got a little preview of it.
And if you live in Scotland, obviously Tanya Roberts she's a stalwart of the
she's at every Comic Con,
the comic convention.
And she's going to a lot of sort of gaming cons as well. So if she's always drawing. So if you want her to do like artwork for you, just go along to one of these events, and she'll draw your own character.
I'm going to have to double check this, and I will put it in the description of the audio and the video if she is. But I think she's at MCM in a couple of weeks.
I would expect so. She's at most. Yeah,
she's one of the ones. She's one of the artists they've announced.
Yeah, she's done Star Wars Clone Wars. She's done Ninja Turtles, Toy Story comics, How to Train Your Dragon comics. In fact, the artwork in here is not terribly dissimilar to some of the stuff she did on Clone Wars. Yeah. You can see the influence, the look there. That's so cool. Yeah. So a nice wee series, and it's nicely ended up, rounded off there in issue 3. Just that wee bugbear of issue 1 being the wrong side.
Just buy another issue 1.
No.
Our last beer.
Last beer.
Right, so we have a Instagram page, obviously. So if you've not got that already, get us on Instagram because it's probably one of the social media outlets that we use the most because of the pictures. I think we all use them all the same. I don't know why I said that, but one of the obviously as an Instagram account, you can follow other beer. You can follow other
it's
pages.
popular
as well.
with beer. With breweries and other beer lovers for some reason, sharing pictures.
So
it's
we
a
follow
thing. Beer selfies.
We follow a lot of breweries and as beer selfies and do different kind of pages like that. And one that always came up is an English. I won't say English. They might be Welsh. I need to work out where Neon Raptor are from. I don't need to work out because it'll be written on the can. Nottingham, they're from. Neon Raptor are really good on Instagram and they caught my eye really quickly. And we've been following them on
They've
our
got
Instagram.
a cool logo. They've always got really cool labels.
Yeah. I will say,
have you had a Neon Raptor?
I haven't. This will be my first Neon Raptor.
Me too.
I'm really excited.
Then.
It's funny you said that about the only thing I would say, and this is just, I don't know, an artistic preference. I would have liked the label to have taken up the whole can, but that's fine. I understand that, craft beer and all that. Yeah. Where's your glass? I can't see
my
it.
glasses, yeah. I'm ready for a Neon Raptor because I've been looking forward to trying these in the local beer shops. Just gotten some in recently. Yeah.
So we went on when we did our brew tour or our on tour episode when we met Stephen and Barry. I dragged the guys up. I dragged the guys out the pub we were drinking into another bar because Neon Raptor was on tap in there, and it wasn't there when we got there. I think.
This is actually looking and smelling remarkably like the last beer.
Sorry, I should say. Sorry, I'm doing too much preamble for this beer. So Neon Raptor Brewing Company this is their first Incarnation New England Pale Ale.
It's remarkably like it. It looks the same, maybe a slightly paler, a bit fizzier.
The smell's not as punchy. So there's mosaic in there. You can taste.
Yeah, you can taste that there. Bringing it there. Oh, it's got an interesting wee after kick.
I'm trying to work out what it is.
Oh,
bear with us, guys. There's something going on there. I think it might be the hop. It's hopped with Mosaic, Simcoe, and Chinook hops.
I'm amazed at how similar it is to the last beer we just had. Wee bit fizzier.
There's a wee bit more.
There's a wee bit more to the flavour,
which is what I said about the last beer.
Citrusy kind of, well, that was pineapple, mango, not overly strong with those flavours, but I'm kind of getting a similar sort of flavour through this. But then there's just this little wee in the after burn, I don't know, something.
It's like it drifts away. There's something that's going on there. It's really fascinating, I'd say. There's something that goes on. I want to say like the taste drifts away, but then there's something that just kind of, I don't know.
With some beers you just get that burn afterwards, and it's like it's just about to start a burn, and then it just
a wee
goes.
Fizzle.
A wee fizzle. Yeah, it's really odd. It's really unusual.
Yeah, I was gutted. There was I was gutted a couple of months ago, or I won't say a month ago. Our local beer shop, there was a recall on Neon Raptor, and it was there was something wrong with the cans, but that's all been fixed in that. But it just ultimately all it probably led to for Neon Raptor desirers in Dunfermline was that our beer shop put up that they had them in store at like midday the day they came out, and then at 3 o'clock they're like, sorry guys, we've had to take them off the shelf. So we've kept a keen eye on these, and I'm glad that we've tried. That's really nice.
We'll make it okay. It's quite gassy.
Quite gassy. I thought the last one was quite gassy as well. I was burping the whole way through your last review. Yeah, I actually had to back away from the microphone a couple of times. But
That's alright. I would certainly have that again.
yeah, absolutely.
But it's just got that strange little fizzle, as you said.
What is that?
I don't know what it is. It's really odd.
I like it.
I haven't really noticed that in the beer before.
I think they've maybe got 3 or 4 Neon Raptor flavours in a local beer shop. This is obviously their New England IPA, but
we'll give them a go
again.
again.
No, their New England Pale Ale. It's not an IPA.
See what else they do.
Absolutely. Okay, so next week, I don't know what we've got planned. We have been invited to a couple of breweries, and I would like to try and get us out to at least one
There's
of them.
breweries, and we've got beer festivals
Beer
coming
festivals
up.
coming up, and
Dunfermline Charity Beer Festival, when's that?
2 weeks.
28th.
So that actually might be our next episode.
Yeah, that'll be.
By the
I
time
think it's 27th, 28th of this month, September, and then we've got Aloha Beer Festival.
Aloha Beer Festival.
About-
Also, the Dunfermline Beer
About
Festival
a week
happens to
later
be
or something, isn't it?
yeah, and the Dunfermline Beer Festival is the same weekend as Scottish, the big MCM Scottish Comic Con.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe, we'll probably base the next couple
Aye.
episodes
And
around
we've
these.
got in Dunfermline that weekend as well as the Charity Beer Festival.
Yeah, so
there's the Capital Sci-Fi Invasion.
Yeah.
So there is going to be a kind of Comic Con cosplay event thing in the Kingsgate Shopping Centre on the same day as the
beer festival.
as the beer festival. So we're going to be lapping that up.
It might be just a beer and Dunfermline beer and comics weekend.
Yeah.
Nonsense
So
episode.
that's probably what we'll do. We'll run around drinking beer and checking
Chatting
out
to
comics folk in Dunfermline.
That sounds great.
It's just right in our
Cool.
doorstep.
So please catch up with us in a couple. Well, next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.